recording. And yes, you see me there, which is kind of funny, but I'm kind of behind the screen, so maybe it works this way. And so now, just for the context for the people who's following this by the video, I'm giving a class. This is a second class, and I got this idea to make a website about clothing, so I will try to do it. And I mean, of course, I'm not gonna stop talking and focus on making the website. That's probably not really helpful. So I'm gonna talk through and okay. So in the email, and also if this is gonna be on YouTube, I'll probably make a link down below. Yeah, I make this YouTube tutorials sometimes, so I know this how these things work. So I'll probably put this link, this URL in the description so you can follow it, and you can go down here, remix another. This is something I already talked last time. And the idea is that remixing will basically copy this project, and now it's all yours. And you can also follow it or not, however you want. Yes, actually, maybe it's better to watch. Actually, it depends. Depends, if you can follow, you can follow. If you don't want to follow, you can just listen and watch the video later or something. You can take notes or whatever. So the topic is clothing. And first thing I think about, and I'll try to make this video around 45 minutes. So I have 40 minutes or so. So as I said, in this left side, you have the file tree. And also, if you forgot, the assets have these images. If you want to put memes and stuff, you can also, if you drag and drop images, it will appear here, so don't freak out if it doesn't show up in here. And settings, yes, something important I said is toggle text wrap this button so that if the line goes outside the window, it will wrap, just like how it looks in Google Docs or Word. But in programming world, it's a little bit different, so that's why they have this option. And also, I might have not said this, but if you go to edit project details here, so settings, edit project details, you can change the name of the project. And sadly, if you come up with something simple, probably they will say, well, no, hello. Yeah, some error will happen because this is most likely it's taken. Clothing, or maybe Naoto's clothing. There's something unique. Blog about Naoto's clothing. And this description is just for the organizational purpose inside Glitch, so it will not be exposed. But yeah, this project name, you can just take something that feels unique. By the way, you cannot use symbols like this. Letters, numbers, and hyphens are only allowed, so hyphens are, easy or useful if you want to have separate words. Or it can be Naoto's clothing, but it's harder to read, so I'll do it like this. And now, what I wanted to do is to delete some of the things in the posts because this is from the course material and I'm not gonna use this. So, for example, I press 3 dots, delete. And here, you cannot edit directly. Why? Because you have to press this button called Edit Markdown, and then you can start editing the content. And if you're not familiar, if you didn't touch this for 1 week, maybe it's whoa, what's going on here? But basically, the top part is the so-called metadata, which, for example, on graphic editor like WordPress, you will see this on the sidebar. So it's not the content itself, but it's on some kind of metadata. If it's a MP3 file, well, we don't have MP3 file. We don't have to see it these days directly, but like track number or the length of the song or this kind of data. That's in the world of blog, it's about like title of the post, description. That's more like for the search engine optimization that will come up if this shows up on Google search, for example. And the date, tags, which I might try to use tags today, maybe not, and layout, but let's keep this not changed. Probably title, description, date, they are quite self-explanatory, so this we can start editing, and the rest is the content. I added a lot of things to the course material, so if you go there, you will see a lot of things, but today I'm not going to need it, so I will delete it, and this will be my content. But before this, I should have edited, pages like index, about, and well, posts, probably this is not really needed. Where are they? If you open preview and preview pane, then you will see here the preview of the page, and it says still course material, so I don't want this because I'm going to talk about it. It's going to be my blog about clothing. So let's say if you want to edit this top page, this is inside src index.md. And again, here, this is the metadata. I don't want to touch this. And here, this is what I want to edit. And the last line, posts, this shows up here, and it's kind of nice because from there, it will automatically list all the posts. So I'll keep it like this. And so I need a title. And again, like last time, the title is like heading. So Naoto's clothing blog. If I just do it like this, then it's a bit sad because it's small. So the way to make it bigger or heading is this hashtag or sharp space. It doesn't work like a hashtag. If you do it like this, it will show like this. So you have to always have space, which is important. And now, so this is the so-called landing page. And if you imagine a website, I think you don't want expect like a wall of text here, because it has to be, like more like eye-catching, and it should give like an impression. It should have some text to give you context. So maybe like one paragraph of text. And if you have like a lot of things to write about your website, like why am I doing, where I'm coming from, what clothing I'm talking about, that will probably go to this other page, which is about.md. And that's literally about. So it starts actually with about this site that I wrote before. And actually I can start with this structure. And okay, so I know I'm a bit ADHD. I am ADHD, so I'm a little bit all over. So I have to focus on one thing at a time. What about finding a nice image that I can put it here as a kind of, heading or header or hero image or whatever? And because we said my clothing, well, this is me, and yeah, it shows me. And I prefer to you can also, look for some free material. Like last time I said, you can search for, public domain image, or if there's like Creative Commons, you can credit them and use them. There are like different ways to, use photos, images, or music, whatever. But basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pick image from my collection of photos, photo album, so that I don't have to worry so much about the rights. But yes, yeah, let's start it like that. And now to clothing, and I don't know if I have nice photo with the clothing. Okay, I shouldn't take too much time with this, obviously, but I mean, in real life, I think it's very important that you actually take time to, search for image or search for contents that you want to talk about, because if you are stuck with, boring thing, you are really stuck with boring things, so you probably want to change the topic. Okay, so for example, like I will start with this. This is probably not the best image ever, but I will, I forgot how to do this in Mac, like this. And now I have this photo. Unfortunately, this is like not a big image. It's 454 kilobytes, so I would just use it. But if it's like a super high resolution, probably you want to use image editor and crop it, make it smaller so that, because people landing on this page will have to download this image on their phone or laptop or whatever. So you want to edit it if you're using Mac, you can just open preview and there's like tools, adjust size. Then you can like start to like, I don't know, I want 960 by 720. I can do that also. That will make it even smaller. And then also you can crop it so that it looks nicer on, and actually it's about clothing, so I want to focus a little bit more on my jacket, like this. Oh, by the way, you select it, and then you have this tools, no, is edit? I forgot it's Command K. It's Command K, it's crop, tools, crop, and then you can do this. And actually, if you're using Mac, there's also this super fancy feature called Remove Background, which I might gonna use now because this is fancy. And you can actually make something like this, which is really fun if you're using Mac. And here the computers are not Mac, so you cannot use it. Maybe there is like a similar tool on Windows. Or on iPhone, actually there's a trick to do this too. So this is quite nice. It's kind of fun, and I'm gonna crop this so that it's more focused on my jacket, and I will save it. I mean, it's not the prettiest image, but I'll just go with this, and I might change it later. The way to upload the image is you just have to pick the image you want to upload and you just drag and drop so that it shows up here with the meme. And you open inside this here, and you can either just copy this one or you can just press copy URL. Now it's on your clipboard, so where am I going to put it? It's index.md, and the way to add image in this format is exclamation, square, not parenthesis, how do you call it? Whatever. And these parentheses and brackets, square brackets, that's the name. And I remember like last time we had some, some keyboards have like weird things that you can't type this in. They're probably like different shortcuts. So if you know what the type of the keyboard is, maybe you can Google square brackets. They're called square brackets. Oh, maybe it's too small, sorry. It's better. Square brackets. These ones. What I'm doing is the image. So now I'm pasting this. I do Command V, that's a shortcut, or Control V on Windows. And this should already show up here. Yes. And because I made remove background, so actually it's kind of funny how it looks like. And by the way, also there's like a trick that is on the editor, it's Control / or Command / on Mac. It will automatically add this little, triangle things around. And that's called comment. And this might be useful sometimes that things that, I'm not sure to add this paragraph yet. You sometimes have something that you're not sure if you want to add this yet, like a draft thingy. You can do command / or control /, and it's still in the editor, but it will not appear in the web page. So maybe it's useful. And on the website, I think I like to have this under this here. Yeah, this feels a bit better. And then what this square bracket is for is the alt text, ALT, alt. And the idea for this alt text is that you want to describe what the image is with the text, so that screen reader, if you're people with blind or visually impaired people, if the way they look through the website is to put it in a screen reader, so the computer will read it aloud, but obviously the images won't be read by screen reader. Probably like with AI and stuff, it's changing, but good practice is to add alt text. So for example, there is a dog pulling the rope from a person wearing shiny blue jacket. Like it can be like really, descriptive. And I think I will probably come back to this always, like, because you talked about portfolios. I mean, in the, like business context, not always, probably like majority of people who's reading your portfolio, unless you are in this specific, domain where you're like working with people with, blind or visually impaired, they were probably not gonna use this alt text, but in a professional context, people who know this kind of thing, they will look into, details about your website, and they will check, if you have alt text on your website or not, and that's, very important practice, at least I think, and it's like slowly changing, and I think it's more and more important. I mean, it's always important, and I just, re-emphasize this again and again, so that and for me, because when I heard of this, I was not sure, because I don't have like friends who need, who are blind or visually impaired in my circle, so I was not sure about, how important this is. But then I just have to, remind myself every time when I'm making a website, I just have to put this little text. It's the same with WordPress, or same with, also like Instagram and so on. When you post something, you have this option to add alt text. And I highly recommend that this will be like really like, it's about practice. So if you do it every time, it will be easier and easier. And if you haven't done it, then I would recommend to, do this from today. Okay, so then I feel like I talked a lot, but what I have is just this on the website. And I really have to have a paragraph of text here. And I don't know like how good you're writing with, but like writing is like always like so overwhelming, like because it's something that people can really judge, because anyone can read. Oh, by the way, like also like for this assignment, if you want to like write in like other languages, just feel free to do it. And for me, it will be better if you can use like Google Translate or DeepL or whatever to add English version of it at the end or something, so that I can also read. But I really don't mind if you write in I don't know, Estonian or Mandarin or whatever language you want to write that feels, because this is not a writing course, so just it's about like generating content and try to format into a website and manage it. That's about the course. So if you feel more familiar with other languages, just feel free to do it. I will do it in English anyways, because otherwise probably doesn't make sense for you. So, but that's just a comment. So if you want, well, yeah, I'll just note it. But yeah, of course, it's better if you can add even like machine translated version of English. That will be helpful. So if you can add that, that will be great. And also like probably like you all use like ChatGPT and stuff like this. And I also don't mind. And I might actually use it now because I feel like a bit stuck. But also, I don't know, like I'm not really policing, so I don't really mind if you just make this entire thing with ChatGPT. But then you have to be, creative in a sense that, yeah, like the whole like structure of the blog, the post, and so on, that has to follow, certain structure. And ChatGPT is not always good at. I mean, maybe structure-wise, it's maybe good, but it's just like I'm saying that it has to make sense as a blog. That's the whole point. If you want to generate the whole post with ChatGPT, that's fine. It will be better if you can like put a little asterisk. This is generated by ChatGPT so that we know. But also like I'm not really saying that how much you spend for like actual writing is important or not. That's not really the point. So. I don't really police that, and it's better if you use it, just write it, that you used it, so that we all know. But it doesn't mean that it's like shameful or whatever. So that's just a little note. Okay. Okay, so I have to like go back to this whole content thing, but actually this is related to ChatGPT because now I can start about like gibberish, clothing is about textile, whatever, I can write random things, but this is a blog about my clothing, and I should, have a kind of like aim or some kind of like direction where I want to go, because I think that's like a trap always happens when you start writing, but you don't know what it is. Like you just like try to add a little bit of like, random things and there's no coherency. So when I write, I really try to have some kind of like direction where I want to go. And probably like, I said I don't do fashion, but maybe this is actually interesting thing. And I can, like write about some ideas and then start to compile them. So is clothing fashion? That's one interesting question. And also about identity, that's something probably like I want to manifest. I want to manifest my identity through clothing. And probably it feels it's easier than talking about is clothing fashion, because this feels a bit philosophical. What else can I write? I think I like this idea, but maybe I will keep this question as a comment. So I'll do command / which is control / in Windows. And because if you have, if you generate these kind of like pops up ideas, you should note it and just don't delete it immediately, because you might want to come back to this afterwards. So I'll just keep it, and then, okay, so here's this point. I want to manifest my identity through clothing. Also, like I collect, not a lot of clothes actually, collect clothes, and each piece of clothes has a certain meaning which is connected to my memories, for example. And I think this is nice. I think I start to see the direction of what I want to write in the blog, that probably is about like, I will talk about each piece of clothes and what's the memory attached to it. So it's like easy to like expand from there, rather than like trying to do like a lot of research and like what is this cloth, what's the meaning of this politically. Of course, I have to do some research if I want to write more like rigorous text, but in this case, I said, it has to be fun, it has to be, it can be like about yourself, about your passion, so that you can just like, more like feeling free to write and just add more and more things. So that's that. It's each, and I should write a bit of this aim of this blog, so that in this blog you will find a collection of my clothes, and I will explain, I don't know, talk through the memories attached to them. I don't know. It's very simple, but again, I think as a top page, landing page, whatever, this index.md, it shouldn't have like long text, and I think this is good. To me, this is good as a starting point, at least. I might want to add more later, probably not in this lecture, but let's say this is a starting point. And now, before writing the post, I should edit this about page, and something I wanted to talk about is, if you start editing this, you will not see this immediately on the side, because this is the landing page, the index page. So one way to go there is, because this is about, and there's already the menu at the bottom, about. So this is one way to do it, and then if you edit here, it will show up here. The other way to do it is, actually, I'm not sure. You have to open the page, a new window. Yeah, that's actually looks quite nice. About, I said. So this about page has this unique, how do you say, URL. So the index page is nautos-clothing.glitch.me, which is already on the internet. So if you share this to your friends, you can always, you can already see it. And this about page has this dedicated URL. And if you send this to your friend, then the friend will see this page instead of the index page. I mean, that's how internet works. And because this is the kind of like the file structure of the website, so if you want, you can also click on this bar and say about, and then I don't know if you have to enter. Probably you don't need to enter. Then this becomes, okay, this was not a good demonstration because, so let's say if you're on the top page, or even if you're in the post, you add about, then this preview will go to the about page, and it will stick to it. And if you don't want that anymore, you can just go back here and select everything and backspace so that it will go to the main index page. About, so I'll just keep this like this, and I just pressed about link, go here. I'll try to keep it simple because I think if I really try to write this, it will take ages. But about this site, I will say about this blog, actually. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And I can even add this title text, which is about, with one sharp. If you have this double sharp, it will make the heading 2, so it will be a little bit smaller like this. And you can style it also with, different combination. So, about this blog, this is a blog by Naoto, and I talk about my pieces of clothes. And I don't know. What did I write in the index page? Yeah, the identity. Yeah, identity and memories. So, I mean, ideally, like the landing page should have like, one paragraph or something. I mean, there's no rule, but I would say something small. And if you have more things to write in case, then you can dump this information in the about, but not about the clothes, because it's about the blog. It's not about the content itself, which will go next. So I have passion to collect clothes. I often actually travel, and in each city I check out second-hand stores, and if I find blue clothes, I will buy it. Therefore, each piece of clothes has a meaning to me. For example, attached to the place I bought, who I was shopping with. Actually, I almost always I shop alone, by the way, and so on. And you can just continue. And what else? I think that's kind of nice description. Yeah, I started this blog to share my passion with you. I hope that stimulates your, I don't know, clothes craving. Does that make sense? I don't know. And of course, like if you want to use like emojis and stuff, that's totally fine. There is no rule about this. And you can also add images to this about page and so on, which I'm not going to do right now because that will be crazy. But that's the exciting part of making website, because it's so free, and yeah, like you can just add anything you want. And also, like if you want to add like YouTube videos, that's also possible. I'm not going to show you my YouTube because it will be quite embarrassing, but I just open this here, and then yes, I don't know, like second-hand shops in Japan, and well, it doesn't really look exciting, but I don't know. If you want, to add this video.
Coopist leiad oma toidulauale alati värske valiku. Selle nädala tähed on banaan kilohinnaga vaid 99 senti ja punane paprika kilohinnaga vaid 1,59. Kohalikud hoiavad kokku.
Uus Svarskov tahtvo.
Embed, and this will make this huge text that actually there's this copy. And this is like, different options. You want to, change something, that's also possible. Basically, you just have to copy it and go back to the editor. You just paste it here. And this is basically, so we're not really dealing with this HTML tags and stuff, so you don't really need to know what it is. And it's kind of like overwhelming if you don't know what it is. I know what it is, but I'm also overwhelmed, so don't worry. And this will automatically, add this video into your page, which is super handy, which is very different from, like social media and stuff, that you can never do this kind of thing in social media because they try to make it, everything like about policing. So, but in this page, like you have total freedom. You want to add HTML tags, embed videos, embed Instagram posts, embed TikTok videos, whatever. There's like always this like share button, and embed option on these pages, or actually not sure anymore about Instagram and stuff. Probably there is, but basically if you do this, you can add videos in here. By the way, some videos on YouTube, they say that you cannot embed. But for example, if they say you cannot add, you can always just, you know, take this URL and, you know, reference, you can find a reference here. So it's not embed, but you can just add a video, link to the video, for example. And the way it works is if you just paste the video link or whatever URL, it will not make a link. You cannot click it, sadly. So you have to wrap it with this greater than, is it greater than or less than? I forgot. But you have to wrap it with this triangles, and it will make a nice link that you will click. Don't freak out if you are editing, previewing on this side pane. You cannot actually, it will not jump to the page because of some limitations. If you are on the preview like this, then you will actually be able to follow the link, but here you cannot. But that's just like how it works. So if you want to check the link, if the link is active or not, you always have to preview in a new window, and then you can test it. But this video, I have no clue what it is, so I'll just delete it. And I'm not endorsing anything, so I just delete it. And okay, so I don't know if it's okay. If you press this reload button, it will jump back to the index page. So I have to press about page again. If you don't want that, you can type in about here. That's the other way. That's why I was explaining this. Anyways, so I think that looks good. It has a, you know, it can have more text, but basically it's a little bit more elaborate text than the top page. And I think it's always a good practice to have like, by the way, I just want to check that the recording is still on. Okay, everything's okay. So in the about page, I would add, you know, who am I, or who made this? Who am I? Who made this? I'm now to just, you know, have a bit of, you know, well, it's a good, you know, opportunity to show who you are, so that it's not like anonymous page. Of course, you are some kind of, you know, artist, like you want to be like a Banksy or something, that you want to hide your identity. Maybe you don't want to write about it. But if you're a normal person, probably you want to tell a little bit about, you know, who you are. So, and it's up to you if you want to add your contact. You can reach out to me on this, and again, I did it wrong, but if you want to add link to the email, actually I'm not sure. I don't think this would work because, because this will be, it's okay, so this works actually. So this will automatically generate a link that will open the mailer, so Gmail or whatever, default mail app or whatever. So you just have to like wrap it with this, and it will be a clickable link. Oh, that does it too, okay. I'm Naoto, you can, you know, okay, I write my full name, you don't have to, or maybe I say I'm Naoto. I'm from Japan and currently living in Tallinn or Estonia. I teach how to make website, and my passion is, obviously I said passion to collect clothes, but my passion is, making YouTube tutorials, which I actually do, but that's not the point here. Oh, actually, I said YouTube tutorials, so maybe I should have YouTube link. So this is my YouTube, if you are curious. Anyways, so again, I will just copy this link and I will add it here. Okay, so I want to do it differently because now I'm always doing this, which is also good, but then it's a little bit ugly that you always see this whole URL. So there's another way to do it, which is, I forgot. Is it? Wait, sorry. I think it's square brackets and YouTube tutorials, and then followed by parentheses with a link. Yeah, so this is another way to make a link. So where it jumps to, like this and this, they're the same, but this one here, it's the same hyperlink, but I can say what text I want. I mean, it's, you know, if you do like Google Doc, edit Google Docs and add link, you also have this option, right? So it can be like a whole URL, or you want some kind of alternative text that makes it a bit easier to read. So that's what's happening here. It's really like a styling issue. Sometimes it's better to have, you know, this link visible so that it's kind of transparent, but sometimes it's like a bit too much that you don't want it. So in this context, I would say this, and the nice thing about this is that, yeah, it blends well inside the text, which this didn't update. I will refresh and go to about again. Okay. So yes, so the link is blended nicely inside the text. And of course, you know, like I can expand a lot about myself. Of course, there's a lot to talk about myself. You can, if you want, please do it. If you don't want, you can just, you know, just say your name. I don't know what you're doing. It can be about your position as a, you know, like legal status, no, not legal status, how do you say, like, you know, basically like, you can say you're a student, but you can also say, you know, if you're an actor or if you're a dancer, whatever, that even if it's professional or not, you can just write it there. And basically like also like when we say like blog, I mean, of course, it has to be, how to say, you can't just write gibberish, but it doesn't have to be always true, right? So because sometimes, you know, I might talk about my memory, but I might, you know, talk a little bit more than, you know, the fact or whatever. And this is not like academic writing course, so I don't really care if everything you write is, you know, truth or not. I don't really care. So just keep, yeah, just saying that. So it's better that, you know, at this moment, at this point for making the first website, I think it's better to have something you feel passionate about, and it's, you know, writing and looking for content. This shouldn't be an obstacle for you to proceed. That's my message, basically. So now I have, let's look at this, and yeah, this looks kind of okay. It's still a little bit small, but it's becoming like a website. And of course I can expand the text, but this is a tutorial. I want to, you know, go further. So obviously what I really need to do is the post. That's about, so in this case, like you can find different strategies, but because we said like clothing, and I said, you know, like started to write about, you know, the different like pieces of clothes. So what would make like logical to me is that each post is basically about one piece of cloth. Then it would be easier to, you know, add more and more posts, because if I start to say like all this post is about all the clothes I bought in Japan, which is also possible. There's nothing blocking it, but that makes it, you know, super long post, which is also possible, yes, but I would say we keep it simple, start with something that is easy to, add more and more contents. So I would say what I'm going to do here is I'll pick one cloth that I want to talk about, and that will be the first post. And let's see what I have. Okay, this is, no, I don't like selfies, but I think I have a lot of selfies when it comes to clothes. And I said it should be my clothes, right? Okay, I'll take this one. This was nice. No, maybe it's okay. There's nothing embarrassing. So this is kind of nice. So I'll take this into my folder, and then I'll do the same trick again, which kind of looks funny. And like obviously, if you have different ways to edit your photo or image, like you can go crazy about this, right? So there's nothing blocking you to edit your image. So that's something I will put this. Okay, now the problem here is, this is actually a good example because the image here is like 8.7 megabyte, and is that big or small? It really depends. I think as a file it's small, but if you think about like putting on the website, it's really big. I mean, if the file, to me, like the rule of thumb is like 1 megabyte. If it's exceeding 1 megabyte, that's not a good sign. So I have to think what to do with this image, especially because I made it transparent. That's like PNG file, blah, blah, that makes it bigger. So I have to, first, I probably want to crop it, and then also do this adjust size so that, yeah, it's like 2000 pixels, which is also the reason why I'm saying this is like, if you think about like devices, because you're not gonna like load the website and immediately like zoom into that image. So what happens is like, if it's bigger than the screen, then probably we're wasting quite a lot of pixels. But then on the other hand, I know that, these days resolutions of the displays, they are quite big. Like, for example, this Mac I'm using, it's MacBook Air, but I guess it has 2000 pixels on the screen on like one side. Anyways, unless you're like, doing like a photography project and you really want to like show the resolution of actually it's not true, because if you're doing photography project, you might want to reduce it so that other people cannot copy it. Anyways, I will say 2080. That's still like 3 megabytes, so 960 maybe. Yeah. It's 1.7 megabyte. To me, it sounds too big, but let's keep it like this. Because if I reduce it even further, it will be a little bit, how do you say? You might start to see the degraded image. But also, like, when we talk about like photos, even if it's like low resolution, you will not immediately notice. That's something you can also try, like how it looks like with like different resolutions and stuff. Try out, if you have time or if you're curious. Probably that's more like computer science people who are more curious about this kind of thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna like add this image. I copied it, so after square brackets, I do this, then and also like why I'm saying the image every time is that I think it's nice to have like one image per post at least. Of course, you can have posts that doesn't have image, but I think it gives like a good sense of, the vibe, even if it's like if you want to make a blog about poetry and stuff, probably it would make sense to have some kind of image, like, if it's poetry, you can really go crazy with images. Like, it can be like nature, it can be, just you start collecting images, like for taking photos of like sky or I don't know, some fields, or just sometimes what I do is just like aiming like blank wall and take photos. That's kind of, I know it's kind of weird, but if you start collecting these things, when you have to make website or when you have to do some kind of, creative, quote unquote, projects, this kind of thing comes really handy. So, and the same with the text, like if you have like ideas, I want to write about this, I want to write about that, just, note it. It can be, your notebook, or it can be your phone, whatever. It's always like good to collect ideas and be prepared for, time when you need those ideas. So now I'm talking about posts. So this post is inside under this post section on the top page, and I go here, and this photo is there. And okay, it doesn't work because it still says course 01. So now I start to have to like think about the metadata of this first post. And before that, actually, it's related to the title, but I made this page, I took it from the original project, so it says course 01. I need to edit it. And the way you edit it is you press this three dots and go to rename, but what is it about? So I took this image and I was thinking about the sweater, so I would probably think about the sweater. This is not really straightforward because this is not like, I don't know the brand of the sweater and I don't know what exactly, how to name it, but I'll just make up that is like geometric sweater because it has some geometric patterns. And yeah, you can see it here. And I think this doesn't really matter, this thingy, this file name in the post, but for organizational purpose, I will rename it. And by the way, I think I told you last time, but this comes with like this whole, slash, that's the file structure. So you want to edit this part instead of everything. So here, because I said geometric, and you shouldn't use spaces in the file. Instead of space, I would use dash, just as good practice of, it's kind of like half like programming, half how do you say, text editing, because this Glitch platform is like, they mainly made it for programming actually, and that's why there are some weird things like text wrapping and things that you might not see often, and also you might probably like recognize, but the font is monospace, which is different from your like default settings of Google Docs or Words and so on, because this is more like programming friendly, let's say. But again, we're not really doing programming, so I'm just giving you context of this. And I know that I said I want to keep it to 45 minutes, but I think maybe it is actually. I think I started around. Anyways, actually, I can see it inside OBS. Okay, I'm recording for 53 minutes. So I will try to get this first post done, and probably then you get, overview of what this website is, because basically from there, it's repetition. You make more posts, or you add more text, but that's about like making it a bit, growing the website. But I think the most important thing now is to actually finish this post, so you have the tool to start making things. And again, about like writing and stuff, you can just use your tools. But I'm saying, throwing these ideas of like, for example, like clothes, and then I started talking about memories, and I can expand, trying to find what is easier for me to write, so that I don't have to do like a lot of research to make this website, because then it becomes like whole another realm of academic writing and so on that takes, obviously academic writing takes a lot of time because you have to read a lot and then you can write because you have to verify every single thing. But here I'm just talking about my memory, which I don't need to verify because I know it. And that's not about like I'm complaining about my research and so on. I think academic writing is great, but it's just like another thing. Okay, so also like there's another option. If you have like small screen, you can also press this one to collapse this sidebar so you can like focus a bit more on the writing. And I'll do it because it's not that my screen is too small, but I made it, a bit bigger so that you can see it. And okay, description now. I bought this. So something important in this description is that you don't actually have to write the same thing here. Like you don't, like this is kind of thing that, you want to make it easy and you just copy the title to description. I sometimes do it. I have to say, confess. But this is like, for example, like what you would Google search, like, okay, actually I can just check clothing blog, and I use DuckDuckGo, but it's the same thing, or you can, let's keep it DuckDuckGo. And then what happens is like, this is a title, and this is the description. This is where it shows up. So you see that, in the description you don't actually, some things are repeated from the title, but you don't have to write the title inside there because anyways they're shown side by side or next to each other. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say it's the geometric sweater, but like I bought this sweater in Japan and in, I don't know, winter 2023, something like this. And the date, it can be the date like today, or because I talk about, specific item, specific photo of that time. I will go back in time. I remember it was December 13 or something? No, 3rd. Yeah. Add 0 if it's 3, then you have to write 03. This, and something actually before writing the content what I noticed is that I didn't change the title of the blog. Of course, like I edited some things so that this has a title, but if you go to this tab, it says still like Hello 11T, which is coming from the original template, and I never edited it. So what I need to do is go to, wait, is it this one? Yes. So in the files, inside src source, there's this file called seo.json, and actually this is not needed, but anyways, the title and again the famous description is here. So this is something you want to edit. So Naoto's clothing blog, and then finally, if you reload, oh, it's not this one actually. Is it 11.js? No. Wait. Or is it just not? It may be that it has to refresh. Maybe I'll try to refresh the editor. That will like force, to clear the logs, and it will regenerate the website. So it didn't do it. Okay, so it might be somewhere else. And I will do this as a homework because I don't really see where to do this. Strange. Terminal, no. Tools. Yeah, I will find out how to do this properly. Update title. Because this is a shame, because if you do like, bookmark, then it will show up as hello 11t, which is not what I wanted. So I needed to figure out how to do this. Okay, so now, because I refreshed, I have to do this edit markdown again, and then now, finally, I'm gonna write this post, and I'll try to do it fast. So basically, in a blog or like normal website, like normal, in the post, you would start with some kind of like teaser, or how to say, like a summary, and the content. And for example, like in WordPress, you can have like summary or like a spoiler so that you get the idea before you go through the text, the whole text. And for example, I bought this sweater in Japan I'll just copy the description just because I thought it would be easier. And then I will expand a bit on like, I think I'm losing the focus now, and I think we should have a break very soon. So this is more like, I really like this sweater and I brought it to, because it has geometric patterns, and I brought it to Estonia. Okay, so something like kind of short, teaser, summary, whatever, something like you would write on social media. That would be like a first paragraph. And then you start telling the story, and you can also, like if you want to be like super explicit, you can have like this 3 dash that will make horizontal line like this. This is actually quite nice that you can see that it's like a dividing, so this is like teaser, and then you start writing about this. So in November, or actually December, I don't know, December 2023, I was walking in the shopping mall with my mom and sister in my hometown, and came across this second-hand shop. Shop assistant recommended me several sweaters, but I didn't like any of them, and then I don't know. But on the shelf I found there was, and I don't know, eye-catching sweater, which I tried on and fit perfect, blah, and then of course, you can have like several paragraphs. So the photo on the post is when I was hanging out with a friend in Tokyo, and then, we had similar color coordinate by chance, and then, I don't know, on the other day I was doing photo shoot with this sweater outside Tokyo, whatever. And you can just, expand your story, and then of course you can have like different photos here. For example, like, I'm gonna cheat, I didn't want to do it, but sweater, something I showed you before. I have nicer photo, not this one, sweater is shapes. So I will just copy this. Oh no, I cannot do it. Why? This. I'll just copy this link. So for example, there's nothing limiting from you to add more and more photos. Oh no, this is not the way it works. Like this. And actually, I said to you that you should not do, I just did it, that I didn't add alt text. So this is the first photo, right? And if you're not sure which one I'm talking about, like, you can just add random things here and then it shows up. So, okay, it's this one. Selfie with a friend. We are wearing colorful clothes or something. I don't know. And then the second one, me posing outside. Well, it's actually along the river, but I don't know, on the field. And there's sunset, whatever. Like, even if I know it's, tedious process, but always write something about the photo, even if it's just, like me posing, just do it, because then it will be a habit. So it's really important that you always put alt text. And what else? Also, like, in academic text, or I don't know, depends. Not comparing to academic text, but for example, on a website, you always have this emphasis that, for example, like, I won't say like geometric patterns is something to emphasize. You can have 2 asterisks and another 2 asterisks. So beginning and end, you put this like 2 asterisks, and then it will make it bold. So it's something I want to like highlight. So it's perfect. I really love its geometric patterns and so on. And I will do this again, but also, like, as I said before, you can add some emojis. I don't know how you type emojis, because on Mac you have this show emoji symbols, and then you can add, like this one, for example. Oh, didn't work. Did it? No, it didn't work. I don't know. You can search for like emoji. Is it diamond? No. Well, it's a gemstone. It's another one, but for example, you can find Emojipedia or something and copy it, and then you go back to whatever editor, and then you can paste it. It will just show up like this, so, I know it's easier on the phone, but there's a way to, add emojis as well. Yeah, so I guess that's that. So basically one post has, some kind of like introduction or like what this is about, and then you expand a little bit. I mean, expand in the post, and really like it depends on how much you want to write. You can go crazy, you can just write one paragraph and that's it. That's also fine. But I think it's really important that something that you can find for now, you know, because we don't want to be like blocked by the process. So something that makes you motivated to write, and you can start to add. Now I have just one post, but then I would talk about, I don't know, this stripe, another sweater with Estonian color, which doesn't have to do with Estonia, but then I would write about this in the next post, and so on. Again, you can just add. You can either, like, the easiest way actually to add new post is, I would recommend to go to existing post and then duplicate. And I would say, like, I don't know, stripe, sweater. So this is a new name. Again, you will keep this source and post. And this will make the same content. So why am I doing this? Because then it's easier to like structure it, because I don't really remember what has to be the title, description, date, and so on. So then I can, you know, start this as a template and sweater with stripe pattern. Description. I like this sweater with color of Estonian flag. Estonian flag. Also, like, if you're like dyslexic, or if you really have problem with the spelling, you know, like, you can also just start writing in a text editor or something. Just copy it here. That would show, well, this kind of thing you can't really do anything about, but since it's, you know, this is something you don't want to edit, but if, I don't know, I bought this sweater, and then, you know, it will highlight, it will not do it inside this editor, because this is, again, made for editing programming code. Yeah, it's for programming, so it doesn't highlight the, it doesn't have the spell checker. So if that's like crucial for you, for example, like text editor or something that would do spell checking, and then you can just, well, actually want to fix this. So, wow, this is crazy sweater. Also in Japan. And then just copy everything back in here, just select everything and then paste it, so you're sure about the spelling. And also, like, for example, like if you use like Google Docs, it has like really good like grammar correction. So I never use like Grammarly, but like it does something like kind of Grammarly kind of thing on Google Docs. So that may be one way to do it. So just copy it in Google Docs, and then you edit contents, and then you paste it back basically in here, so that you're sure about. Again, I'm not really like, you know, examining your writing skills, like grammar and so on. So don't worry. But of course, it feels better if you have like less spelling error and so on. So okay, so that's how long is the video. I'll just stop the recording. Well, 1 hour and 13 minutes. I was like talking almost non-stop. If you're watching on the YouTube or whatever, thanks for watching.